not that I... Alright, how's it going, everybody? Good afternoon. It's Saturday. You know what that means, ladies and gentlemen. It's time for the Gran Turismo Racing Community Group 4 Manufacturer Series here on Gran Turismo Sport. So, with that being said, we're just a few minutes away from starting qualifying, as a matter of fact. So, we don't even jump on track here with a couple of the drivers here. Let's jump on with Barr, who has missed a couple of the last races in the series, so he's going to be looking for a good finish here today, obviously, to try and get back up in the points. But yeah, so we're just getting started. You guys are just on track to practicing. You can see 750 getting a little bit wide coming out of the corner there, so Barr's just going to zip past him there. But welcome, everybody. We do have our co-host with us again tonight, Jaden, so that's fantastic. So we'll get to him in just a second here. We're just going to introduce the series. So this is round 10, ladies and gentlemen, of the GR4 Manufacturer Series. And we're at Suzuka. So the GTRC has loaded up the cars. They've loaded up their crews. They've jumped them on a plane. They've flown all the way to Japan here. And we're going to race on Suzuka here today. So it should be a good race. Suzuka always provides some pretty good racing. Also, just a really fun racetrack to drive on and race on. If you get it right, it feels so fantastic. It just has such great rhythm. But if you get it wrong, it can make you pay. We'll explain more about that as the broadcast goes on. We're just going to... let them know that the broadcaster's ready, obviously. So they're going to start qualifying here right away. So we're going to jump in with our co-host here in just a second. But I just want to thank everybody for tuning in today. Welcome again. Good afternoon, evening, or morning, depending on where it is you're viewing from. And again, this is going to be a family-friendly broadcast, ladies and gentlemen. So absolutely get the kiddies involved. Every little boy loves a good race car, a good race. So get them involved, get them checking this out, and see what these guys are putting out for racing content here for you guys today. It's been a fantastic season all season long. These guys have put on just amazing races, great battles throughout the races, throughout the racetrack, throughout the fields, and I don't suspect that round 10 is going to be any differently here. So yeah, looking forward to it. So we're gonna bring in our co-host Jaden here. So welcome, and second broadcast here with us tonight, and looking forward to it. I agree. And I was just saying to the chat there before we jumped in here that Suzuka is a really fun racetrack. It's got really great rhythm when you get it right, but when you get it wrong, it can really make you pay the price here today. Just like that again in that BMW, as I was just saying to you earlier there before we went live, that BMW is very tricky to drive around this racetrack. As the back end of that BMW just wants to slide out on you. And we're seeing exactly that. There's a couple of... Ooh, man, we're seeing guys struggling all over the place here. We got Alexis spun out here as well with Ben. We've got Super here, who was our round 9 winner, ladies and gentlemen, in the rain at Red Bull last weekend. So it'd be interesting to see how he responds today. But it's going to be a fantastic day today here in Japan, so I can't wait to see. We see Boo there with Beautiful livery on the side of that Toyota 86 here today as well. A little homage to Japan there as well on that car. So really great stuff there today. A little bit different from Boo than what we typically see on his race cars today. So he went a little extra above and beyond coming home to Japan here today. He's got, I'm not sure what the deal is with Boo in Japan, but he definitely, he always rocking that Japan flag dot on his cars. So we'll have to ask him about it someday and see what the deal behind that is. So we got Type R for Team Aston here, and his teammates bowed out of the series potentially or something like that maybe. So he's just kind of driving as a solo driver right now. So these guys are looking for a couple more drivers to fill out some missing drivers. So if you guys are interested in racing in this Group 4 Manufacturer Series, there's still four more rounds left after this week. We still got a month of racing here, ladies and gentlemen, with the GTRC. If you want to get involved, come check out the series. Now's a good time to jump in and try to get in for the last 4 races of the season. Help the manufacturer teams out a little bit as well. All you got to do is just comment in the GTRC YouTube or the GT45 Gaming YouTube channels that you're interested in participating and you want more information. And what we can do is get you set up in their Discord channel. And then, of course, they can take it from there. Of course, the great staff over here at GTRC that does all the work behind the scenes. We always make sure that they take care of their drivers when they come in, and then they can put you in the right direction, get you dialed into the series, what the series is about, rules, regulations, and all that fun stuff, and see if you're interested. Basically, ladies and gentlemen, at the end of the day, if you're looking for racing in leagues on Gran Turismo, if you're a Gran Turismo player, Discord is kind of the avenue to go. Of course, obviously, keep your eyes on social outlets like Facebook and YouTube and Twitter and stuff like that, because I mean, the leagues do advertise through these social media sites, say through content creators or whatever the case may be. But really, Discord is the place to be if you really want to find out more about league racing in any kind of esports, whether it be Gran Turismo or a shooter game or any kind of game that has any kind of competitive online play to it. Discord is absolutely the place to be. So just a little tip there for all the viewers out there, if you guys have been thinking about maybe trying to join into a league and get your feet wet with some league racing, and I encourage it, ladies and gentlemen. I encourage every single individual really does enjoy competing in Gran Turismo to join a league. You don't even have to be the fastest person in the world. It is so much fun, ladies and gentlemen. And it's just it always creates really good, clean, hard racing, and it's just a lot of fun when you start getting on the racetrack and getting involved with stuff like that. And it really ups your game as a race car driver as well. So highly recommend it, ladies and gentlemen. And I mean, all these leagues are always more than willing to take new drivers in and get them on track and get them racing. So Hannah has a pretty good looking livery there as well too, as we can see here. So Hannah just coming out of an F1 race about half an hour ago, ladies and gentlemen, and jumping right into this Group 4 car here and back at it again in a whole different race here. So massive dedication from PLE Hannah there as far as her racing goes. And we love to see it. And of course, a Twitch streamer, ladies and gentlemen. She will be live on Twitch. PLE Hannah at Twitch, if you want to go check it out from her point of view here today. As far as I know, she's the only streamer live streaming today in the field. I could be completely mistaken there. I've never really actually asked the group if any of them stream these races themselves. I don't, for the most part, I think this is just kind of a group of buddies for the most part that started a racing league, and it's just started to grow, and it's becoming a lot of fun, and they have a good league here. They've got a good rule set. They've got a great series here, and if I wasn't commentating for them, I'd seriously consider participating in it myself, because I'm a big fan of the Group 4 cars myself. So how's your week been, Jaden? Anything exciting going on? Yeah, about the same. Just work as usual and streaming at night and just hanging out with all the awesome viewers out in the world, you know? Of course, working with great leagues like GTRC here as well, doing commentary for a few different leagues throughout GT Sport here. Of course, anybody who follows my page knows that all that is starting to wind down, of course, with the release of GT7. So we do finally have our official hot laps, and we got Hair Razor coming across with the original one, but of course, Boo takes that from him real quickly. Doug bopping down into third place. We got Ibra coming across. Let's see where Ibra ends up here. Ibra's gonna say in 4, so we got a whole whack of cars coming here. We'll try to catch them all as they come across. We got Supra. He's gonna stay 5th. Type R. It looks like he's gonna stay 7th. Bar doesn't change any. 750 moves up into 6. We see Ben coming out of the pits there, so he must have picked up some damage on the outlap there. We got Supras in 9th. We've got Trone just coming across in 10th there. Ooh, we got Tap coming in. Looks like Ben is struggling a little bit with Suzuka here today. And Hannah... no, go ahead, go ahead. All good. I'm just yammering on. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, so we are kicking it here. A little old school GT Sport race for everybody. This is round 10 of 14 here today, so we're starting to wind down. Basically, after today's round, we can officially say we're at the chase for the cup at this point. However, the driver that we just see go by the camera there, Bufu Shidara, who we're following, is currently leading the standings in the championship coming into round 10 with a fairly significant lead over the rest of the field. So, can anybody beat Bufu Shidara, ladies and gentlemen? It really has been the big question of the season. We did see Supra beat him last weekend in Red Bull, in Austria at Red Bull Ring in the rain. However, Supra did definitely by far have one of the better cars to be driving for that race, so that might have played a small factor, of course, into that. But that's why these series are designed like this, because some cars are going to be stronger at certain race tracks than other cars, and then that one car that might have been weaker on last week's race might be really strong in the next coming race, right? So it's kind of how the series balances out all the different manufacturers. It plays on their weaknesses and strengths from one week to another to try and keep the season fair throughout the whole series. And some drivers just are on a whole different level, and just no matter what it is you seem to put them in, they just seem to drive really well. So there's always that as well. But we have most of our full timers are in here today. It's absolutely fantastic to see it. So now the drivers are allowed to come out and get fresh tires for qualifying, ladies and gentlemen. That is what we're seeing here right now. We see several cars coming out of pit lane at the moment here. But with that being said, as the race progresses as well, ladies and gentlemen, there is a pit line penalty in play here. So when the drivers are entering and exiting pit lane, they have to keep the car between those solid white lines. If they cross those white lines, then they will be assessed an additional penalty by the racing officials after the race is over. So drivers definitely have to keep that in mind when they're entering and exiting the pits. I know sometimes it's hard when you're in a close battle for position, especially coming down to that pit lane battle. Sometimes you just slips your mind and you cross over that line, and that could very well cost you more than 1 or 2 positions that you may have just gained in pit lane. So drivers definitely have to be aware of that. And we do have a penalty burn zone in play here as well with the GTRC. So we're going to bring that up on screen for you guys right now and go over it before the race starts. So on the map here, you see that little red line. And that little red line is right out of the final corner here at Suzuka, leading up to the start-finish line. So the drivers will have to basically pull right over to the right-hand side, right out of the final corner, and bleed that penalty off. And they don't have a whole lot of time to do it there, as that start-finish line is quite close to the start of that pit wall. So drivers definitely going to want to be on point here tonight. They don't want to pick those penalties up here on Suzuka, and it's very, very easy to do. So who's looking good in your eyes here today, Jaden? And I do suspect, ladies and gentlemen, that this is going to be a bit of a tricky track for Lamborghini. And now the Lamborghinis are really, really great in a straight line. These cars have an amazing amount of power running in a dead straight line. You will see these Lamborghinis track down any car on this track in a straight line here quite easily. But when we get into that center section of Suzuka, especially at the beginning S curves there, that's where this car tends to struggle a little bit. That four-wheel drive just doesn't allow it to rotate as nice as, say, a rear-wheel drive car or a mid-rear engine car, right? So it is a little bit of a beast to turn around the corners. So Supra is definitely going to have to Team Lamborghini, as a matter of fact, 750 as well, are going to have to be fairly smart and calculated in how and where they make their moves here today, and where to just try and have a good clean sector here today. So it'll be interesting to see how Team Lamborghini handles that today, as we are going to see the cars like the Toyota 86, the BMW, the Lexus, Ferraris do fairly well here. They're cars that typically rotate pretty well. Corvette always does well everywhere. Corvette's a well-rounded car. Exactly, Corvette, much like the Porsche as well. Porsche is another one of those cars here in Gran Turismo Sport that's just a really well balanced car. If you're just getting into the game and you're starting to think about competitive racing or online racing, a Corvette or a Porsche manufactured car is definitely a good suggestion to go as far as just learning, just because they're so balanced and so stable. Very, very easy to drive and very quick in their own right too. Once you really get on it. I can lay down some pretty crazy times in that Group 3 Porsche on some of these racetracks. So just a great car to drive. We don't see Team Porsche here. Porsche is allowed in the series here, but very early on in the series we've seen Team Porsche just not make the races. So we don't actually have any Porsches on track, which is really unfortunate because Suzuka is a pretty good track for Porsche for the most part. Granted, of course, this Porsche does lack some straight line speed. It really requires some slipstream to keep up to these faster cars as far as top end speed goes. But man, can that car move through these technical sectors. So really unfortunate we don't see any Porsches in the field here today. I do suspect that Hyundai Genesis that PLE Hanna is in, it would actually be really good here as well. So we do have Boo sitting in pole. Not that surprised, ladies and gentlemen, as he spent most of his time there this season. So Boo is 0.8 of a second ahead of the next driver, who is Ben in that Lexus. Now, as I said, that Lexus should be good here. And he pushed down a P2 time. So Hairraiser in third, Doug in fourth. Those two are always behind each other. It seems like Tap is right there as well. We have Barr in sixth. We've got 750 in seventh. We've got Ibra in eighth. We've got Supra in ninth in that Lamborghini. We got Troll and Kobe in 10th. We've got Type R in 11th, and we've got Hannah in 12th, who's coming on her last hot lap here, stays in 12th. So, that is our field, ladies and gentlemen. And this is going to be a fantastic race. So, we're actually going to let Jaden take this race at the race start here tonight, ladies and gentlemen. No pressure. It's all good, brother. Enjoy it. Hold on, let me turn some audio on. Bam. All right. Audio source issue fixed, ladies and gentlemen. We're full go. Full go.
Everyone's getting excited, flashing their lights. They're going to be one exciting race. Right, revving up. Lights about to go out.
Unfortunately, they're just not going to give us a better camera angle.
Ooh. That sounds... Oh, lights out. And here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Start with the race. Looks like Arik is taking lead. Goodness, Bo's sadly gone into third, but Arik did a fantastic pass, in my opinion. Huge, and I say huge, not pile up, but quite a battle between third and sixth. Not gonna lie, huge pile up, in my opinion.
Oof, and all our drivers making it through safe and sound, ladies and gentlemen. Now that is incredible. Good. Because Suzuka turn one is infamous for race starts for just creating a pileup.
Chaos.
Yeah, exactly, a pileup, because the drivers go wide, spin out. Suzuka, again, great racetrack. However, with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, if you get the car on this green AstroTurf you guys see on the outside of the curbing, that can really create a problem for your car. The teal green stuff is okay, but the stuff that looks like the grass, nah, that's like driving on ice here, ladies and gentlemen, at Suzuka. And if you get those tires out on it and try to get on the power, it is gonna make you pay. And I'm sure we will see it today at some point throughout the race. So we have Boo now.
Doug's trying to make a move on Boo.
Boo trying to get around Doug here for third. Boo always seems to get a bit of a slow race start. Those Toyota 86 aren't the best cars as far as launching off the line goes, so we always see Boo drop back a little bit very early on in the race all season long, and then he just does what he does, and eventually always seems to find his way up front, so we'll have to see if that is the case here again today. But I can assure you that guys like Eric's, Hellraiser, Doug, Bar, Tap aren't going to be having none of that today, and they're going to want to be finishing ahead of him here to try and start gaining some ground in the points here.
750 and Ibra are getting really close.
Ooh, we see Ibra getting really wide there, so that's actually going to cost him some time.
Ooh, contact!
Ooh.
750 spun out.
So we are going to mark that, and we'll take another look at that in just a second here, guys and gals.
Damn.
So let's take a look at that again here. Let's see what happened on... Let's get on Supra's point of view here.
Supra and Bar putting up quite a fight, I'm gonna lie.
Alright, we're gonna have to take another look at that, chat. For some reason my cameras are acting up here. So we need 750. For some reason it keeps putting us on Supra. There we go. That's what we're looking for. So let's see what happened to Supra here as we're coming around, or 750 as we're coming around here. It looked like he just got a little bit, just a little bit sideways on the brakes. Oh, he did. He just tapped Doug, actually. He was just trying to avoid making contact with Doug. It just caught a little bit of that edge and actually just spun that Lamborghini out. So that is what happened to 750 there. Again, just trying to avoid contact with the driver in front of him. He was coming in a little bit quicker than he anticipated. And unfortunately just caught the track edge and lost that Lamborghini. But I'm sure that he will get back on it here. 750 is a good driver. So we do have Ben in first currently, with Hellraiser very close behind in tow, in second place with that Ferrari, and then we have Boo chasing these two drivers down in that Toyota. So that is our top three currently here today, and then we have Bar now, who's gone from 6th to 4th here, most recently actually. So he's doing a good job now. He's looking for that hunt for the podium as well. And then we see Supra just behind Bar here in 5th place. So Supra having a very good race start here, as I believe he started about 9th or 10th on the grid, and all the way up into P5 here. So the Lamborghinis are really good off the starting line, again, because of that four-wheel drive capability in those cars. They have 4 tires pulling them along the racetrack, basically. So it gives them really good launch. And that's what gives them the drive, I believe, probably out of the exits on the corners, and especially on these straight lines, because they just have 4 tires with that amazing power plant under the rear of that car.
Wait, hold on 2 seconds, guys. Sorry, it looks like Doug's got a problem. He's gone quite slow. He's dropped 2 positions already.
Let's take a look at what's going on with Doug here. He doesn't have any damage. So he must have just made a mistake somewhere along the way on the racetrack.
Yeah, it must have been.
And just got passed by some of the drivers. Again, the field is very close here. From first, looking like Hannah's having a little bit of issues here as well today. Sitting in 11th place currently, we see Tap in the pits. So Tap is full damage. So Tap has had a major incident on track here, and driving it in to get the team to work on it there, which is really unfortunate for Tap, because he's doing quite well in the standings here. So he does need a good race today, so he's going to have to get back on it here and use a little bit of pit strategy just to get him back into the race here. And that is the beautiful thing about endurance racing, ladies and gentlemen. You're never really down and out. Anything can happen in racing, and especially endurance racing. A driver can run out of fuel. They might wear their tires out from paddling.
Hellraisers are milliseconds away from each other.
Absolutely good call there as we're on this battle potentially for P2, but we also see Supra and Bar getting quite close together for 4th and 5th behind this group as well.
I see that.
And then we've got a juicy little mid-pack battle with Type R, Trone, and Doug as well. So Doug now starting to force the issue, trying to get back through the field here in the mid-pack. And then 750 just in behind in 10th there. So Type R is looking pretty good. Doug is trying to get a move done on Trone, but Trone is just not letting it happen right now. So let's actually jump on with Trone here as him and Doug are
And
battling.
Doug, ooh, oh wait, ooh, contact, bit of a nudge. All right, it's like Doug's gone spot. All
Doug
right,
does get
just
around Trone there. It did kind of look like that was a little bit of lagging as well in play as Doug was trying to make that move there. I don't actually think those cars made contact. I think it just kind of looked like they made contact because if they would have actually made contact at the point where it looked like they made contact, I do believe that Trone probably would have got pushed off track there.
yeah, must have been.
So I think
Must
that
have been
was
lag.
just a little bit of game lag we're seeing there today, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, just by the way the cars reacted after contact there, I just don't believe that that was actually contact made between the two drivers. I think they did a really great job of battling 2x2 through that corner. So great job by the two drivers there as they're battling very hard all throughout the field here. We have again Ben or Eric's here in first place, and then we
Eric's has been putting on a show, even in qualifying. So he's been doing quite good so far in the race.
he does have hair razor starting to apply all kinds of pressure on him here now though. So this is basically what Ben's seeing right now in his rearview mirror as we're on our rear bumper cam here, ladies and gentlemen. As Hair Razor and Boo now is on the back of this as well. So top three separated by about half a second at the moment, ladies and gentlemen. Nose to tail essentially. So this is what it's looking like as Ben's trying to keep Hair Razor behind him, and then we'll jump over to Hair Razor. This is what Hair Razor's seeing behind him. So Hair Razor's in the worst spot at the moment in this battle as he's in the group, the middle of the group. So he's trying to attack, but also defend at the same time, not to lose the position he's holding. So a little bit tricky
wait,
here.
ooh. Doug almost spun out. Fantastic job of controlling that.
And again, that's
milliseconds away from Type R again.
Definitely seeing the BMW drivers struggling a little bit here at Suzuka. Now it's funny because I was on track with these guys before the race started a little earlier in practice today, and I was actually on track with that BMW M4. And although that M4 is an absolutely great car to drive in this Group 4 class, it's a very, very good car. It's just not the best track for it because of how the technicality of it. It's not, the back end of the car really likes to slip out on the BMW, and with the amount of braking required here at Suzuka, the BMW and braking just not exactly the best of friends in certain situations, and we are seeing Team BMW struggling a little bit. With that being said, now that's just from my own experiences practicing with the guys here earlier today. Yes, that's right, the commentator does bring his own race cars to the track with these guys to I just like to get the car on track and run a few laps and see what these guys are up against from one week to the next. So it gives me a little bit of insight as a commentator as well, what these drivers are up against. And typically I take different cars each week with me to the tracks and test different cars so I can get a feel for what each driver for each manufacturer has to deal with here. So today we tested some BMW, and I love the BMW M4. It's a great car. I like that car. It's one of my favorite cars to drive on the Nürburgring GP. As a matter of fact, it's a great car around that racetrack, and yeah, but no, tough on this racetrack. So we are seeing struggles from Team BMW here as Doug's in 7th with Type R and Trone now battling for P8 here. And we got 750 in 10th in that Lamborghini, Hannah sitting in 11th, and Tap in 12th in that other BMW. We have seen Tap have damage, so he is trying to come back from that now. So we don't have a whole lot of battling right at the moment. We do, I mean, it's just the first stint. Guys are just trying to make sure they're not losing the pack that they're chasing down, and they're trying to save tires and fuel for, of course, the pit stop that they're going to make at probably about, I'm going to say, 15 and 20 minutes. We'll start seeing these drivers pit, and they will take on fuel and tires, of course, when they do that, and then it'll be race on. That's when we're going to start seeing some really heavy battling, I suspect, is in the second half of the race, obviously, because the drivers are just being safe right now. They're taking care of their cars. And the benefit to Hair Razor traveling behind Ben at the moment right now is he can see where he's better than the driver in front of him, and he can see where maybe the driver in front of him is better than he is. So as a race car driver, you're always watching what the driver in front of you is doing when you're chasing him down or you're driving behind him. And in the case right now, Hair Razor's just driving very patiently, give him a little tap there to get him going. just playing nice right now, and he's probably just doing exactly that. He's assessing Eric's strengths and weaknesses through certain turns and through certain sectors of the racetrack to see when the time finally does come that he wants to make that move, where the best place for him to make the move is, based off of where he feels he's better than, say, first place Ben at the moment. And of course, same thing for Boo Fushidara behind these guys as well, as he's sitting there just a little bit back off these guys, just watching, observing, doing his homework, taking his mental notes. And all these things do play a factor even in sim racing here, ladies and gentlemen. I'm sure if you talk to race car drivers who drive race cars in real life, they will tell you much of the same things. When you see them just being patient, slipstreaming, bump drafting, helping another driver maybe pull a gap from the guy behind them per se. They're doing exactly that as well. They're also studying what that guy is doing in front of them. And by doing that, that might actually make you a little bit quicker through a sector you're struggling in as well. So we have seen Boo now get around Hair Razor here, so let's go see if we can catch that move.
Looking like Trojan is getting a bit greedy over here with Type R. Really wanting to get that 8 P8. Oh,
So really great move by Boo there. He just kind of took that with authority. He had enough of sitting behind Hair Razor, I guess, at this point. Now he's going to start chasing down Ben in first place. So let's get to that battle between 750 and Cone.
Well, not out. He spun out a bit.
So let's see what happened there. As we got Trone and Type R battling here. Cars are side by side going through the hairpin. Trone gives him the space. Ooh, gets a little bit wide. Makes contact with 750 there. Does a good job not to fully take 750 out there. As you can see him really hard on the brakes there when he hit the grass. Unfortunately, there wasn't much he could do about coming across the racetrack there, ladies and gentlemen, as of course the car just went sideways. And once the car goes sideways, you don't have a whole lot of control at that point. So great job by all the drivers. And we see Ben with a massive penalty there. So he's bleeding that off, as we can see in the burn zone right now. So that's really unfortunate for Ben, as he was sitting in the lead. He's going to lose 3 positions off that penalty there. So Boo is our new race leader here, ladies and gentlemen. And then we have Hair Razor in second. Bar now up to P3. So he's looking good today. And Team Ferrari sitting second and third currently in the race as well. So good for standings for Team Ferrari here. And then we've got Ben in 4th place in that Lexus. And he is all up in Bar's business. So let's jump on board with Ben here as he's chasing Bar down. So I guess the next big question is here now, ladies and gentlemen, does Bar work with Hair Razor, or do these guys just battle for position? Because, now, the reason why I ask that is because this is a dual series, ladies and gentlemen. So as we can see in how it's been commentated so far, this race is these drivers are driving as teams based off of the manufacturer or the car that they're driving on racetrack. Now, that is the case. There is a championship point system for manufacturers. However, with that being said, these guys are also driving for individual points in the series as well. So these drivers are also driving for their own points. So it's quite interesting to see how this works out. Ooh, and we see Ben making a little bit of a mistake there, trying to get around Bar on the outside. And we just see him getting into that artificial turf outside the curbing there, and does a really good job at not losing the car. So with all things being said there, yes, he did lose sight of the lead pack a little bit there, but he kept the car on the racetrack. That's a 50-50 shot right there when you get out into that green stuff, that you're going to not spin out. And we see him going wide here again, and that car getting a little bit twitchy. So Ben pushing him just a little too hard right now. I think he just needs to dial it down just one little notch on the push pedal and just get back into his rhythm there and catch that lead pack. So we see 750 now up in ninth, because we did see Trone make a mistake there. And Trone has lost actually quite a bit of time from those guys now, almost 12 seconds back. So may have made another mistake somewhere. Tap now up into P11, and Hannah here rounding out our field today in P12. And again, Hannah has just come out of a endurance race before coming into this race too, so it's tough to get in, come out of one pressure filled situation and jump right into another right off the bat, and then two completely different styles of racing as well. So she's having to make a quick adjustment here today on the track and doing really well. So we do see Team Ferrari going quite nice here. Go ahead, Jim.
Quite a... Ah, my bad. Both putting quite a decent lap. Not gonna lie. 2 minutes 10 seconds. Not gonna lie. He did quite good.
And he's right now on a purple sector, ladies and gentlemen. So let's stick with our race leader here. Good shout out by co-host Jaden here today. He is on a purple sector and currently holding fastest lap on track with a 2:10.095 or 85. I think that's an 85. And he was 0.2 of a second up on that through that last sector there. So let's just stick with our race leader here and see if he can improve that time and all, push into these 209s here today. Just waiting for this next live timing split here to see where he's at. Should be coming up here shortly. Oh, and now he's down, so he's lost 0.4 of a second in that last sector there. So it's gonna be pretty hard to gain that 0.4 through this final chicane here. Really good corner there by Boo. Great exit there, but again, losing still 0.2 down. He might be able to gain it, but yeah, I didn't think so. He almost got it back. He gained about 1.5 there. So Boo on a pretty good pace here. You see him in the very low 2.10s for the last 4 laps here. We got Hair Razor. He's now into the 2.10s as well with Bar in tow. Now let's just stick with these two drivers here for a minute, unless there's a battle brewing somewhere else. Let's go take a quick peek through our field here. We do see lots of cars very close to each other, but nobody battling at the moment. So we're going to stick with our second and third place drivers, Hair Razor and Bar here, as they are running around the racetrack here. Now, Bar was nose to tail with Hair Razor there just a few seconds ago, but just making a slight mistake in that one corner, just getting a little bit wiggly and losing the back end of that other Ferrari up ahead of him there. So we'll have to see if Bar can get back up on Hair Razor. If these two can hook up and work together here at this point in the race, they definitely have a shot at catching first place driver Boo. So it's going to be interesting to see how this develops as these two continue on in the race here today as well. If Team Ferrari can stay behind each other throughout the race, they might have a case for a win here today. Boo's just been super strong all series long. He's out front and he's got the pace, so he is the driver to beat here very early on today, ladies and gentlemen. Seeing a little bit. Ooh, good job by Hannah there. You see what I'm talking about. You're getting into that green stuff here at Suzuka, man. It just does all kinds of bad things for your race car. And Hannah getting a little bit twitchy there, but managing to keep it together as well. So great job there by Hannah. She is lagging just slightly, so hopefully everything's okay there. So we're coming through the chicane. Let's do an on board with race leader Boo Fushidara here. Around Suzuka, and we'll let you guys just enjoy this beautiful lap around Suzuka with Boo Fushidara, ladies and gentlemen.
No worries. I'll just be going through the field, just, watching for some battles. Doesn't really look like there's any major battles so far. Just Bar and Hair Razor sticking really close to each other. But the only problem that I really have with Hair Razor and Bar battling it out is that they're really putting some pressure on the tires and fuel, so they might be having to pit earlier and then maybe doing a 2-stop pit strategy, which might give them a lot of time loss, in my opinion. So if I were them, I would just dial it a bit down. Stick together, but just dial it a bit down. Yeah.
Really great lap here by Bufu Shidara right now, ladies and gentlemen. You can see he's just clipping all those apexes. He's getting great exit speed here around these corners.
Looks like he's really been practicing for this track. Or he just has a lot of knowledge about all the corners and all that.
And there we are, ladies and gentlemen, on board lap with our race leader, Bufu Shidara, showing why he is the championship leader here in the series so far this season. But we do see Barr and Hairraiser losing a little bit of distance here, and we now see Ben kind of getting back into this battle for third place here as well in that Lexus. So definitely going to be some good battles in the last half of this race for sure, ladies and gentlemen. So definitely don't go anywhere. If anything, I recommend refreshing those beverages and grabbing your favorite snack and get settled in, because the last half of this race is going to be fire, ladies and gentlemen.
Gonna be absolutely amazing.
And Tap is just absolutely pushing like crazy right now, trying to get caught back up to this pack. He is 20-some seconds from Tro and Colby here, still doing everything he can to get caught back up to this pack here today. And then we have Pana here in 12th place, doing a fantastic job as always, ladies and gentlemen.
She's just been sticking back, you know, just chilling.
She does have a battle going on with fibromyalgia as well, so pain does tend to factor in while she's racing as well. So just the fact she's out here putting in the dedication and the time week in and week out is absolutely phenomenal, and much respect to Hannah for doing what she loves no matter what the circumstances.
Agreed. Very much agreed. Looks like Ben's losing quite some time from Bar, but slowly but surely picking it up again.
And Boo is just on a tear. An absolute tear. He is going to definitely dip into these 209s at some point throughout this race, especially as he continues to use the fuel up in that car. The Ferraris are quite equally matched as far as fuel and tires go, so both these drivers are driving these cars very, very similarly, obviously. And Bufu Shidara, his tires look freaking incredible. As always, this guy is just top level when it comes to tire and fuel saving. And then we got Ibra here. His front tires are starting to look a little worn on this Corvette. We're going to see him pit probably at the 20-minute mark or sooner.
Yeah, looks like a couple of people are pitting. Ben, Supra, and Doug has pitted.
Alright, so let's jump in and catch those. We always love to take a look at these
And
beautiful
Ben is
liveries.
out.
Oh, we
Pretty
missed
good.
Ben's. Oof, Ben went in quick. Oh, we just got Supra
And Supra's out.
Alright, so we did miss Ben.
And there is
unfortunately.
Doug.
But yeah, great shot of these liveries here in pit lane. Unfortunately, we just didn't catch that first one in time, but yeah, it's the way it goes, ladies and gentlemen. We need a production crew behind us not to miss anything, you know what I mean? So, if you never want to miss a beat of the action, don't forget to subscribe so we can pay for a production crew. No, I'm kidding, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, I'm kidding, I kid. But if you do enjoy the races, if you do enjoy the content here at the GTRC, ladies and gentlemen, definitely please don't forget to hit those reactions on the stream. And if you wouldn't mind sharing this out one time, that's just a couple free things you can do to help the pages grow. And of course, if you do enjoy the content, you want to see more content, hit that subscribe button here today and turn on all your live notifications, and you'll never ever miss another moment when these guys are on track putting on great races. So we do have Trone and Type R quite close together here now, so a little battle developing here for P6.
Ooh, and Bo's pitted.
Yes, we do have the leader.
And Hairraiser.
We'll let Jaden keep an eye on what happens in pit lane here, as I don't want to leave this battle right
Bars
now.
also.
As
It's like
Trone is
quite a lot of people are currently
all over the back end of Type R here, so.
Ooh, very clean pit by Bo. Very, very clean. Just refueling.
And we do see Bo
And there
has
he is,
6% more fuel than the driver behind him, so that is absolutely going to factor into where he comes out here in pit lane. So now we have Trone up in P3 here, as he has yet to pit. And we see Ben coming back into P4 here, so Ben doing a little bit of an undercut there, and it, paying him a little bit of dividends here, as he's now up into P4, so that's really good news for Ben. Gets him back into that battle for the podium, where he clearly has the pace to be here today as well, ladies and gentlemen. So great pit strategy there by Eric's MK, and getting himself right on top of Trone Kobe here for P3. But keeping in mind, ladies and gentlemen, this man right here still needs to pit at some point throughout the race here. He will not have enough fuel in that car to go do a no-stop race, so he will have to pit. So eventually he is going to give that position up. Bar is in 5th. Supra's back here in 6th. We've got Doug in 7th. We've got Ibra in 8th. 750 back in 9th. We've got Type R in 10th. We see Tap coming into the pits, just coming out of pit lane here, actually.
There you go, and there he goes. He is off.
And it's a tricky setup, ladies and gentlemen, coming out of pit lane here at Suzuka, getting set up for that first corner, because these drivers, again, as I explained earlier, cannot... Ooh, Hannah getting a little bit sideways there. Doing a good job to keep it together, getting into pit lane here. As I was explaining a little bit earlier, ladies and gentlemen, drivers having to not allowed to cut those pit lines when you're coming out of pit lane, so they have to wait until that solid white line on the left ends, and then they can swoop across into the line. But by that point in time here at Suzuka, you're already on top of turn 1, so you just kind of, you got to figure out how to navigate turn 1 coming out of pit lane on cold tires, with potential fast traffic coming by you as well. So a little bit of a tricky pit exit here at Suzuka, but so far all the drivers have handled it extremely well.
Good, Hannah's pit and she's out.
And we do see, I believe that's Boo coming just in behind Hannah here. So Hannah doing a great job to get out and around before the traffic and speed gets around. Ooh, Boo get a little bit, almost eating too much curb there into the corner, almost making a very big mistake.
Almost.
And, whew, good job by Boo there, just to keep that Toyota together on track there, as he almost lost that car in turn 1.
Your Trone's fitted.
And I'm sure that Hairraiser back in P2 wouldn't have been too upset to see that happen, but unfortunately, he's got to get on that loud pedal and make up some time here. We have Ben now up into P3. As I said, when Trone pits, he will give up that position. So Ben back on the podium here with 20 minutes left in the race. We got Barr chasing him down in 4th place. Supra in 5th, having another solid race here, ladies and gentlemen. This driver has stepped it up a notch in the last 3 weeks, month here at the GTRC, and has really started to show some great pace. We got Doug here in 6th place now, so he's gained a position. We got Ibra in 7th. We've got Tap, 750 in 8th. Trone in 9th now. We got Type R in 10th, Tap in 11th, and Hannah rounding out our field here today. As we see, the leader is now coming in here. So we have been seeing her pull right off the racetrack. I'd rather she doesn't do that.
Oh, wait.
As it
Ah,
kind of,
Hannah's going off-road.
she did it on purpose. She was just getting out of the way of the race leader. Just
Alright.
just pull off the racing line and slow down, man, and just let him by. You don't have to go off track, Anna girl. Don't ruin your race. You know, they'll wait. There, just like that. That's what we like to see. See, that's how you let traffic by right there, ladies and gentlemen. You don't have to ruin your race. You don't have to pull off the racetrack. It is up to the faster traffic to find a safe way around traffic that they're passing as well at the same time. So it is a joint effort, and I like to see that she's not pulling off the line. I like to see that she's just, you know, pulling off the racing line, just let out that throttle, let these guys go by, and then just tuck into their slipstream and use them to gain some time. So we'll see it here. Barr is going to use the slipstream on Hannah here just to gain that time, and then you'll see him go by. And then she just tucks right in behind. Just how it should be done, ladies and gentlemen. So great job by Hannah there.
Couldn't agree more. She did a really good job with that.
She just slightly panicked a little bit when Boo came around there, and we seen her go completely off the racetrack to let him by. She doesn't have to do that. So I'm glad to see that she felt a little more comfortable with the last three drivers coming around, and then just stuck to the track and just let them through nice and safely like she did there. Great time to, you know, she picked the right spot and the right time to let these guys through, and that's what we're always looking for here. So huge shout out to Hannah. Great driving there, and great racing awareness to know where those drivers are on track is the big thing, and I mean, she definitely shows that, ladies and gentlemen. So love to see her in the series.
In fact, that is got a new fastest lap, 2:09.
And there we go.
Beautiful time too.
Just breaking that 2:10 mark there with a 2:09.9. So Doug taking fastest lap from Boo at the moment. And I believe there's fastest lap point in play here as well. So that is fairly important. And all our drivers are running quite good times here now. We're seeing a lot of low to mid 2:10 times here on track. So lots of the drivers showing very similar pace here now. And we did see a 2:09.4 on Trone's timer there, ladies and gentlemen. That is an out lap, so don't. It doesn't count as a lap because it's not a flying lap. It's a lap from coming out of pit lane, which is a little bit shorter in time. So yeah, that's where that comes from. So it's not a registered fastest lap because it wasn't an actual flying lap on the course. And it's looking like Hannah is just a smidge late on her braking points here right now as I'm watching her go around the field here. And I mean, obviously I'm friends with a lot of the drivers outside of the races here, and being a commentator, I get to see a lot of what they're doing on the racetrack. So a lot of the times what I'll do is I'll go in and send them a private message after the race and be like, hey, I noticed you were doing this, you know, maybe try this next time type thing, and see if that helps, right? I mean, sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. I'm not a pro race car driver or an expert by any stretch of the imagination, but sometimes you just see things when you're commentating and spectating that a driver might not realize they're doing. And she has really good lines around Suzuki here as well. Her lines are fantastic. I think she's just pushing a little too hard and just braking a little too late. Really getting that Genesis around that corner. This is a tough sector right here. This is a sector that you see a lot of drivers make mistakes. She's in the sand there. Oh!
Looks like Doug's also off.
Doug followed her. That is not Hannah's fault, ladies and gentlemen. So really unfortunate to see there as Doug went wide as well coming into the corner there. So it's really unfortunate. As Hannah just stopped there to try and allow the lead traffic to go through, and then Doug making the exact same mistake that Hannah made there, and unfortunately making some contact there. Let's go a little further back here. So we see Hannah there, she went a little bit wide there. Doug also just tried to cut the corner a little too quickly there and just took the exact same line, and unfortunately for Doug, getting into the back end of Hannah there a little bit. So it's going to be damage for Doug, and it's also going to be damage for Hannah, unfortunately.
Oh, no.
But that is most certainly just a racing incident, as both drivers making a mistake into the corner there. So
Looks like Tap got a penalty of 0.5 seconds for some reason.
And it says Doug has a penalty there, ladies and gentlemen, but it does say it's 0.0, so I don't believe there actually is a penalty there any longer. You might have like maybe a tenth left and we just can't see it or something. That is the case. We just can't see how much time is left on that penalty, so you do see him burning it properly there. Ibra as well in 7th place here. We have 750 in 8th. That tells me that I got a spectator glitch and I should probably jump out and jump back in really quick.
Don't worry, man. I'll be keeping an eye on the little field.
Hannah has all kinds of trouble there now. As you see, she has engine damage, front and rear aero and suspension damage. The crew's going to be working on that car here. So we do have Boo maintaining that 6-second gap basically this whole last stint so far in the race, and he is still 13.5 minutes away from potential race win here. But we do have the battle for P2, 3, and 4 really starting to develop here as we near the end of the race. As we see Hellraiser in P2, we see Ben just behind in P3, and we see Bar just behind him in P4. So they're only about a second, 1.1 seconds separating those three drivers. And then we have Super, who we just seen making a mistake coming around the corner there, and that's going to actually allow Doug to gain some time on Super there. So now that's going to...
Where's Hannah gone?
Hannah may have retired for the race. No need to be sorry, Hannah. You done nothing wrong, darling. It does look like PLE Hannah has retired herself from the race. She's struggling a little bit here today, so just opting to pull that race car off the track and just call it a day. And you know what? We get it. We respect it.
Don't have a problem at all with it.
We all have good days on the racetrack, and we all have bad days on the racetrack. That is for sure. And sometimes it's just better to put the car away and try again next week. So
yeah, you never know. Maybe even next week would be the best week of your life.
Exactly. But Hannah's a survivor. She never gives up, ladies and gentlemen. So she will be back next week. And again, just racing from one series to the next. It's really tough when you're racing back-to-back leagues like that, when you don't have a whole lot of time to kind of decompress from one race. You got to just jump straight into the next race and try to get into that mentality and different competition. You know, all kinds of different things, different cars, different racetracks, different weather conditions. Lots of factors to play in there, so it's really hard to make that really quick adjustment. She did a fantastic job today, and again, just opting to just retire the car here for this weekend. So no worries, ladies and gentlemen. It happens to the best of us, I assure you. She was lagging a fair bit there too, as we were watching around. I was noticing that might be playing a little bit of a part of her struggles here today. As of course, as a driver, when you're lagging, sometimes you can't tell you're lagging, but sometimes you can. And when you can, it makes it really, really difficult to race. So Tap is only 3 seconds off this pack now. So Tap coming in to fix some severe damage very early on in the race, falling way behind the pack, is now found the pack here. So let's see if Tap can find any positions here before the end of the race here today.
Looks like Ben and Hellraiser's putting on a battle again for P2.
We did suspect that we would start seeing this group close up near the end of the race here. Hellraiser has a ton of fuel left in the tank of that car. Looks like all the drivers have plenty of fuel in their cars to make the rest of the race. Of course, we do see Doug is fighting some front aero damage there with that incident with PLE Hannah. Sorry for the rage kit, just got annoyed after being punted, ruined my race. It's all good, Hannah. Don't worry about it, darling. Don't worry about it, Hannah. You're good. You're good. Deep rest, girl. It's been a long day for you. Just rest, relax. Don't stress about it. I was just explaining that it's really tough to race in one league and then have to jump right into a whole different car, a whole different track, and a whole different group of drivers right after that happens too. You not a lot of time to decompress from one and get ready for the next. So don't stress, Hannah. You're good. You're good. Don't stress.
Doug and Super are currently making a huge battle. Doug almost slid out.
All right,
Did a
let's jump in
beautiful
with
job
this
to
battle.
control
It's
it.
battle on track here right now. Supra is by all means starting to pull in on Doug here. BMW is going to be quite good, quite a bit better than the Lamborghini in the corners is what I was trying to spit out, ladies and gentlemen. But that Lamborghini is going to have this BMW on the straightaways. Now the BMW has pretty good power in its own right, don't get me wrong, but that Lamborghini that's where it excels, straight line speed. So we're going to see it coming around this sector here as soon as we get onto this straightaway. As long as Super gets a really clean exit of here, we're going to see him pull right up on Doug here.
And remember, we even saw the exact same battle in last week's race.
And there we go, ladies and gentlemen. Supra is right on the back end of Doug here. So Doug's going to semi-defend. Supra's going to go outside. He's going to be able to hold his line. It is a tough line to hold. He does a great job holding the line there. As these two are absolutely battling for P5 here right now. And Super getting a little bit drifty there around that chicane, but he manages to hold it together, and he barely loses any time to the back end of Doug here. And again, we're going to see this Lamborghini really excel right here.
Ooh.
Doug is full defense mode really here, catching. And now you can see him trying to squeeze Super out as far out the track as he can. Ooh, a little bit of lag there from Super, but he's going to try to cut back here. Is he going to get that move done? We got the old switcheroo happening here, and he just edges Doug out. So great move by Super, ladies and gentlemen.
Beautiful. Absolute beautiful job there.
I told you, man, at the end of this race is when we're going to start seeing it all heat up, and there we go. All these drivers have been lining up their this move for this part of the race, and Super just absolutely
tapping type. Oh, what's up? And putting the pedal on.
But we're going to watch this one more time as he comes in for the cutback around corner 2 here. Just has enough of that horsepower in that car to stay ahead of Doug there. So let's get back to the real life battle that's going on between these two here.
Ooh, Supra's gone back again. But he's going to catch up
as
anytime.
Doug now has position on Supra again. This is a great battle between these two drivers. Ooh, pardon me. Oh. A whole different game. Oh, you were on GT7 too? Oh, I had no idea, Hannah. Yeah, that's even worse, man. Oh, I feel ya. I feel ya. Having to go from GT7 League to coming to race in a GT Sport League right away? Ouch, that's a tough adjustment.
Ooh.
That's why I didn't play a lot of GT7 when it came out, because I was still league racing on GT Sport, and I personally didn't do it because I was worried about that exact thing myself. But we're side by side again.
Super's basically right.
Ooh, a little bit of contact there. Ooh, that was not intentional contact, ladies and gentlemen. That was just two cars racing really hard side by side. Super just caught the grass with that back right tire, and it just wiggled that car a little bit, and then of course trying to get himself collected back up, he just tapped Doug there. But did a really good job to keep it together. Losing a little bit of time, but again, the Lamborghini's Super good in a straight line. He's going to catch right back up to Doug here. Whew. Oh, and we got a battle for first. What happened in first place? We have Hair Razors now in the lead, ladies and gentlemen. I am not sure what happened there, as Boo had a pretty comfortable lead, so Boo had to have made a mistake. Hair Racer now in the lead of the race. Boo on the back end of this. My apologies, ladies and gentlemen. I can't believe that we just we missed that pass for P1. I just wasn't anticipating
Very sorry,
that.
guys.
So, oh, Boo's coming back for a move out of the hairpin. Cannot get on the power. Hair Raiser really getting on the power early there. Great exit, keeping Boo in behind. So, ladies and gentlemen, we have 5 minutes left, and we have got a battle for P1, P2, P3, and P4 just behind this. So, whoo, doggy, we got a race on our hands. Oh, you're on F1. Oh, wow. That is some dedication, Hannah. That is some dedication. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Hannah coming from F1 2021 and then jumping on Gran Turismo Sport right back to back. So, whew, that's a massive adjustment. So kudos, girl, kudos.
Huge.
Great battle here for P1 as we have Boo looking, he's going to go outside of Terroriz, he's going to defend this here. If Boo can stay beside him, he does have the inside for the second half of the chicane, but Boo opting to back out. Let Hair Raiser get through clean and battle on, coming around into corner 1 here. Boo is a very smart race car driver. You see a little bit of lag there. I don't think that's driver lag. I think that's server lag, ladies and gentlemen. Is all the cars lagged at the same time there. But Boo is all... Ooh, a little bit of lag. A little bit of lag from Boo there.
There's basically a tenth of a second there. Pulling a bit back, but...
This is absolutely...
catching up almost immediately.
Boo is really, really glitching badly here right now, ladies and gentlemen. So hopefully that settles down for Boo here. As this is a battle for podium position here, so the last thing we need is the drivers having incidents based off of course, lag. So hopefully Boo's aware that he's glitching a little bit here, and just gives the driver a little bit of extra room in case his car isn't where it looks like it should be. Great battle for P1. Boo is being very patient. Right now, Boo's waiting for Hair Raiser to make that vital mistake by putting the pressure on. Hair Raiser hasn't quite done it yet, but we'll see if he cracks.
Well, it looks like Bar and Ben's also putting on a low battle.
We definitely have that battle developing for P3 behind these two here now. Now, that's actually good for P1 and P2 because with those two battling, that's actually allowing these two to drive away from that group. So instead of it being a four-way battle for P1 like it was about a minute and a half ago, it's now a battle for P1 and P2 and then a separate battle for P3 and P4.
Kobe and Ibra are also making a battle here.
And then now we got Doug and Super as well, all nose to tail here in 5th and 6th.
Goodness.
And oh my, there's so much going on here. We got Ibra Trone making a move on Ibra. He's going to look inside here, coming into the entry of the hairpin here. Comes around, but that's going to give Ibra the inside line around the hairpin. Can Trone get this done? Ooh, Trone's going to go out deep. Oh, and they're side by side coming out. Great exit by Ibra there. As Trone forced his way on the outside, but managed to keep that together. Does get that done. So where else do we have anything happening?
Slowly but surely catching up again with Bar.
So Bar has made the move for P3. Let's see if we can get that pass done here. Excellent, we got it. Beautiful. Oh, so Ben just going really wide, coming out of, I believe it's what is that, 130R, I think that is? I believe that corner is, and getting the move done there when Ben went wide. So Bar saying thank you very much for that position, and now up in P3. So a lot of position swapping there at the end of the race here, as I suspected we were going to see some battling happening. We have Boo now trying to get around Hair Raiser here. This is going to be the final lap of the race, so it's all for the marbles here now. We're going to see Boo try to make the move here now, so we're going to stick with this battle for P1. And we'll let Jaden watch the rest of the field here as we're keeping our eye on our leaders here.
Alright, no worries. Looks like Super and Doug's battle are slowly but surely settling down, but still a bit in the action.
So we do see Boo get around Hair Raiser here now. So Boo now retaining the race lead here. So Hair Raiser now on the prowl. But what a great battle between P1 and P2 here, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, Hair Raiser's going to go inside on the hairpin. Is he going to get the move done? No! Oh, Boo does a fantastic job at holding off that move. Hair Raiser with a last-second dive into the corner there to try and steal that inside line because Boo left the door open and Boo just got a great drive out of the exit. But now we see Hair Raiser putting all kinds of pressure on Boo here. This is a great race right to the finish line. This is going to go, ladies and gentlemen. We're coming around the final few corners here today at Suzuka, and boy, oh boy, what a battle for first place as Boo and Hair Raiser are just at each other here. Wow, fantastic stuff by these drivers. As always, week in and week out, these guys never let us down. And Hair Razor's going to try and get the run on Boo here, coming around, I believe, 130R. And if Hair Razor's going to get it done, it has to be coming into the chicane. Side by side coming into the chicane. Can Hair Razor keep that inside line? No! Boo just edges him out!
Maybe.
Is he going to get the run? Is he going to get the run? Boo's going to go full defensive here. He's not going to give him that inside. Oh, what a great race. So Boo coming in first place. Hair Razor in second. Bar right just behind those two in third. We see Ben coming across in fourth place. What a great finish by our top three drivers, ladies and gentlemen. Holy guacamole! We have Doug here now coming around into the final chicane in fifth place. He's looking nice and solid here. We see a little bit of lag. I definitely think that's server lag, as I don't think every single driver on the field is lagging here. Maybe I'm lagging. So Doug coming across in fifth place there. We see Super just behind in sixth. We've got Trone up in P7 here, so he's gotten around Ibra. And he's going to finish with a strong place, seventh place here. We have Ibra coming around in that Corvette.
Nice.
In eighth, 750 just in tow, but I don't think there's going to be enough time there for 750 to catch up. And we've got Tap coming around here now in 10th place. We've seen Tap have the early race struggles there, so good job of getting into the top 10 here today, as he was about a half a lap down after that early incident on track. And then we have Type R rounding out our field here in 11th, and of course Pieli Hanna retiring with about 11 minutes left in the race, ladies and gentlemen. So great job by the whole field here today. A couple of things I'm sure for the officials to take a look at, of course, but great job by all our drivers here on track. What a fantastic finish to this race, ladies and gentlemen. Wow. Great battle for P1 for the last about 5 laps there. Just absolutely crazy stuff. We don't know what happened to Boo. We'll have to ask him in the interviews, obviously. But whew, what a great race. What a great race. Wow.
Beautiful race.
That was quite intense. Oh, I was on the wrong one. Can't hear Cocom. Yeah. Tires die too quick. Yeah, 3 times tire wear and 3 times fuel consumption in the races here, ladies and gentlemen. So let's just take a look at the race results here. So unofficially, ladies and gentlemen, of course, all race results are unofficial at the end of the race until the GTRC stewarding staff and officials have reviewed the race and, of course, gone through any incident reports that the drivers may or may not have. The drivers will have 24 hours to report any incident reports now from the end of the race here. And then once they do that, of course, the amazing officiating staff takes over and does any assessments if needed for penalties. And then the official results will get released in about 48 to 72 hours. So we do have Boo finishing in first place with a great battle with Hair Razor finishing in second. Bar 27 close behind there in third place, with Ben just there as well in fourth. Doug in fifth place, with Super just finishing behind him in sixth. And then we had Tro and Colby finishing in seventh, with Eber just shortly behind in eighth. 750 in ninth. Tap in 10th. Type R in 11th. And Hannah finishing out our field today in 12th. Boo Fushidara with fastest lap on track with a 209.660. On lap 15. So really great job by all our drivers, and we're just gonna head over to the comms box here. So if you just want to jump over into the other chat there, I'll meet you over there.
Right.
And you're gonna lose chat audio just for a second, ladies and gentlemen, because I'm turning it off. All right. Again, I try to keep this as family friendly as possible for these kinds of broadcasts, so the whole family can enjoy. So we just don't want to have any bad words slip out. We're just letting them decompress, ladies and gentlemen. The drivers, after a race, you need time to talk and laugh and yell and sing, cry and moan and complain and, you know, everything that happens in racing. just go over anything that happened on track, and so we're just letting them do that, and then we'll get the interviews going here. So, but great race here at Suzuka. Yeah, that was a bit of an unfortunate incident. We actually caught that one on stream there. So, no, I'm here. I'm just letting you guys do your decompression. I'm here. I'm here. All right, ladies and gentlemen. So, oh, that was a great battle you guys had, man. That was a great battle. A little bit, yeah, a little bit, a little bit.
Let Ghost do his thing. Yeah.
All right,
Okay,
ladies and gentlemen.
Fraser and
So
Bo.
we are here with our podium finishers tonight, and an absolutely fantastic race. So we have Barr finishing in third, we've got Hair Razor finishing in second, and we've got Boo Fushidara finishing in first place. And man, what a battle at the end of the race for those top three positions. And can't wait to hear what these guys got to say about it. So Barr, congratulations, man. Missing a couple of weeks, so coming out with a really strong race here today, and I'm sure you're pretty pleased about that. Obviously, to gain some points in the standings for yourself there. But great battle with Ben there throughout the last half of the race, really, essentially, for that P3, P4 position. So talk us through your race today. Tell us a little bit how things went for you.
I, pretty much I know I had better pace than him after pits, and then I was just trying to keep up with the pace. I know he was catching Razor, and me and Razor was in a party. I was trying to hold him up, but and then we seen Bo make a mistake and everything. Two battles at the same time. Unfortunately, the first place battle overshadowed third, but I think I did pretty well with third.
No, I mean, you had a fantastic race. You were battling all race long. Anywhere from basically P1 through to P6 all race long. So Suzuka is a tough racetrack, obviously, to race. When you get it right, it feels really good, but when you get it wrong, it doesn't go so well. We've seen that from a few of the drivers here today, just making the smallest of mistakes that turn into massive consequences here at Suzuka because of the artificial turf around the racetrack. But pretty solid race for you today for the most part. Great podium finish, and any shout-outs you want to give?
Shout out to our new commentator that we got now.
Thanks, man.
Shout out to Bo with getting the victory, and shout out to everyone that was watching the race.
Absolutely, and it was a really great race. You guys did a fantastic job. Suzuka never really does disappoint. It always produces great racing here in Japan. So, great job and congratulations. And see you next week. Yes.
Possibly.
Possibly. All right. Well, we'll see if Barr is there next week to continue adding to his points total. Unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen, we were slacking today and we didn't get the point standings up for you guys. So we'll do that right at the end of the stream here before we close it down so you guys can see where the point standing was coming into round 10. So moving up to second place, and we're going to let Jaden take over this interview. So Hair Razor P2, congratulations, and we're going to let Jaden take over this interview here.
Thank you.
All right. Well, congrats on the podium, mate. You did absolutely fantastic out in the field.
Thank
So,
you, mate.
how was the track for you?
Oh, do you know what? It's a very tough track in Suzuka. I tell you. Oh, bloody hell, I'm absolutely boiling. You know, Ben was on my tail quite a lot.
Yeah.
So I was trying to lose him off my slipstream, and it was really difficult because he was catching me.
Yeah.
And then I've got Bar as well, and also I knew that Bo was in front, and then when he made a mistake, and I passed him, I was like, oh my god, and the time was there was only like a couple of laps left, and I tried to
Yeah.
hold him off, but we know that Barr is a very fast driver and is a very good driver, to be honest. And to battle it, and I thought, well, I've got a chance here, so I'll try and battle him out and see how it goes. And unfortunately, I didn't quite get it, but I tried my hardest, man. Oh my God.
Right. Well, you did absolutely fantastic, man. Just know that.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
No worries, man. No, that's really the only question I have. You have any shout-outs, any sponsors you want to thank?
Yeah, I'll just shout out to all the guys that are racing, and obviously the girl, Hannah, and all the commentators, and of course all my fans.
We love that.
Right,
We love
well-
that. Big shout out to the fans out there. You hear that,
I'm
race
one of your
fans?
fans, dude.
I just want to add something to that here before we move over to Bufu Shidara. You were battling hard pretty much the whole race with that Ferrari. How does that Ferrari feel around Suzuka here? Obviously, being in a mid-rear engine car and being such a technical racetrack, you're always kind of on the edge of losing the back end of that car. So, how do you navigate that while battling so fiercely for P1?
It is a tough cookie around this track, I tell you. The back end was loose a few times, and I thought there's a couple of times when I nearly lost it or outbraked myself. But it's just a car that I just managed to grab back the balance of the car, and it just worked out for me. But it is a tough cookie around this track, to be honest.
Absolutely, and we've seen a couple of. There's a couple of cars that definitely struggle with this racetrack. Lamborghini being one of them because of that four-wheel drive, not allowing it to get the best rotation in these technical sectors here at Suzuka. So tough car to drive here as well. And we do know that the BMW, as I was explaining to the viewers earlier, I was on track with that car a little earlier in practice with you guys, and it's much like those MRs. It's just the back end just does want to spin on you all the time. And seeing a little bit of struggles from the BMW drivers today because of that exact reason as well. So congratulations on the P2, and see what you got for us next week. You almost had him. You almost had him.
Almost. Almost.
And well, here we go again for like the 8th time this season, ladies and gentlemen. Our winner, Bufu Shidara. Congratulations, man. Great drive. It looked like you had that sucker wrapped up pretty good there with about a 7-second gap. You were maintaining that gap quite comfortably throughout the last half of the race. And then what happened? We missed it. We don't know what happened to you. All of a sudden, Hair Razor was in first place.
Thanks. Somebody took out one of the braking markers, and I was like, okay, 150. Wait, was it 150? 100. I missed it. So that's what happened there, and I just went into Casio. Had to cut through the green stuff. Was praying not to get a penalty, so I crawled out of it slowly. And before I knew it, Hair was overtaking me, going, great, got to do it all over again.
Absolutely great battle, though, at the end of the race there. I mean, Hair Razor and yourself were battling all race long for the most part. You were never really separated by all that much, especially in the first stint. And then, of course, that mistake allowing him to get back into that battle. So just talk us through that last 4 or 5 lap battle of the racetrack there as you guys were battling for the race win.
I mean, yeah, you're absolutely right. Hair's super quick. Once he gets into a car that he really feels comfortable with, he's right up there. So not surprised to see him right on my tail. And he's been putting in a lot of practice lately, and he's just chipping away at that. Any kind of advantage I may have had at the start of the season, that's sort of evaporating now. And after that, just stayed calm. I mean, we had 5 laps, I think he said. So I know Ben was behind us, and I was keen not to attack Hair too early, especially with Ben at one point he was half a second behind me. So I was like, you know what, let's just work together, pull the gap to third, and then we can, then we'll start jostling for position and see what happens from there on out. But yeah, with the last, I think 3 laps is when we really started attacking each other. It was just manic. I mean, Hair doesn't really have a weakness. I tried a couple of times to get close to him through the S's, maybe jink around the outside through one of them. Absolutely no chance. Down towards 130R. No, he wasn't having it. Into the Cassia chicane again. He just defended really, really well. And there's just that last bit through the S's up towards the Degner 1. I saw he made a bit of a mistake into the approach. I was thinking, right, I can size him up here for a dive down the inside and power out through. he defended that, so I had to change approach last minute and power around the outside. And I mean, Hare's super fair. I mean, he's races hard, but we always leave each other space, and it's one of the best battles I have on track with anybody is with Hare Razor. So massive shout out to him because it's always a car's width, and we never make contact with each other. It doesn't matter how tight the space.
Yeah, and that's absolutely true. Actually, going into the final hairpin on the final lap there, you left him a little bit of space on the inside of the corner there, and he absolutely put that Ferrari right inside that space to try and get that move done, and then you held the outside quite well, got a great exit, and at that point just didn't quite allow him to get close enough to make the pass on you coming, of course, around 130R into the final chicane there. So he did do an extremely good job of defending the position. And you seen a very small window of opportunity, and like you said, you took advantage of it and just squeaked out that 8th win of the season. So congratulations, man! You're looking very dominant this season, and 4 to go, ladies and gentlemen. So the chase to the championship is upon us. Next weekend is round 11, and boy oh boy, these guys are going to be fighting tooth and nail for those podium spots. So don't miss it, ladies and gentlemen. And any shoutouts, Boo?
All you guys, my teammate Trone, because he's here helping keep the Toyotas up on top. So without him, we wouldn't be there. Massive shout out to the guys like Hare. I know I had a battle with Doug early on as well, which was great. So hi to him, and yeah, anybody watching, and all the boys and girls that attend.
Awesome. And great words by our race winner there. So that is our race for the evening, ladies and gentlemen. You guys are free to speak as you please now. Thank you very much. Congratulations to all the drivers. And we'll see you next week.
Thank you, Thank you, Snot.
And again, yes, massive shout out to our co-host Jaden coming in for the second race here with the GTRC. So we look forward to seeing him in the comms box with us, obviously, the rest of the season. And maybe next week we'll let him have a little more of the run at the comms and see what he's got for us. How's that sound, Jaden? Awesome. You'll do fine, my man. You'll do fine. Just let it come to you naturally. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, we are going to bring those point standings up since I did forget to do it during the broadcast. Typically about after we get the drivers to do their pit stops, we bring up the point standings for you guys and let you guys know where everybody's at. And we didn't do it today, so we're going to go through that now. So currently first after round 9, these are after round 9 at Red Bull Ring last week, ladies and gentlemen. Boo is in first place with 159 points. We have Razor sitting in second with 100 and... My screen's really small, give me a second. 128 points. And then Doug is in third with 120. Tap with 101 in fourth. Eber with 90 in fifth. Supra with 85 in sixth. Tron in 79 with seventh. Type R in eighth with 59. 750 in 50 with 54. And Bar 27 with 43. Ben is there with 41, and the rest of the drivers weren't in the race today, so we're not going to go through that. And of course our manufacturer standings, ladies and gentlemen, as we just heard our race leader in the interviews there, keep Toyota just on top with 237 points overall, ahead of Team BMW with 221. Now Team BMW didn't have the best of races today, so that should give Team Ferrari a really good opportunity to gain some point ground there, as they're just below in third place with 191. Now Team Ferrari did take second and third place today, so they are going to get some really great points. And then we have Lamborghini in fourth with 139, Chevy with 131, Renault with 59. We don't have Renault in the field any longer. Lexus with 51, Aston Martin with 25, Jag with 8, Porsche with 6, and Hyundai with 5 points. So that is where our standings sit coming before round 10. Obviously, we've seen how the race has progressed and finished here in round 10, so we know those standings are going to change a little bit now. And thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in. This broadcast has been hosted by GT45 Gaming, and I am the host, Ghost45, of course, with our co-host, Snipe Ghost, as his PSN goes. And thank you so much for tuning in. Ladies and gentlemen, it's been a fantastic weekend of racing with the GTRC, as always. Next week, we're going to be running all the way to... Just give me 1 second to verify. Monza? Is that what I heard? Alright, so we're heading to Monza, ladies and gentlemen. So we all know that's going to be a fantastic race, and can't wait to see it. So on behalf of the GTRC, Thank you so much for tuning in. Don't forget to subscribe to the pages on the way out today, and share this out for us one time. Get it out to all your friends. Show them what we're doing over here at the GTRC. Show them these great races, and we'll talk